Okay, Kevin Smith said it best, that sometimes you have this, well, I guess the terminology would be writer's laze. Writer's laze is basically when you don't want to entertain, you want to just sit back and be entertained. Well, it is Sunday, and this video should have been shot on Friday. Let me tell you exactly why this is the way it is. And oh, by the way, we are joined by a little bit of I'll cover up the product placement because I think that might be the problem. Hello, Minute Maid Frozen Lemonade. 32 days away from going home, can't wait. Okay, so let's start with Thursday. Thursday is usually when I shoot these videos because I watch Impact Live and then I shoot the videos out and then I put them out for the next day. Generally speaking, I probably have the video out after midnight. That's normally how it works. Okay. Could not do that this week due to the fact that we were watching movies. We watched Kick-Ass 2 and Paranoia. So, got back after midnight, didn't have any time to do anything, and I just had time to shoot you guys off the final reveal for Halloween Horror Nights 23 Reveal Week, talking about An American Werewolf in London. And, of course, we still have one more video to reveal Resident Evil, but when that happens, I'm hearing rumors that's supposed to be on the, let me just get this correct, the 29th. So, not this coming Thursday, but next Thursday, there will be the final reveal, where presumably we'll find out all the houses, or will finally be announced. We'll find out more about the houses, we'll find out more about the street experiences, make sure it's not just a Walking Dead markathon. So, bottoms up. But the thing is, this stuff's amazing, by the way. Alright. It's time to get you guys that video, which was well responded to, and I'm glad everyone enjoyed those videos. Now, then you ask me, okay, Owen, why don't you just get up Friday and shoot us out this video? Well, we ran out of time. I did not sleep very well, and I woke up, had lunch, and had to be at Regal to watch the movies for this week. And the other movies, so we could do the movie review video that night. So, what you got to see right there was, we went to watch Lee Daniels, The Butler, and Jobs. So, not in that order, we kind of flipped those. And came back here, shot the videos. Now, given the fact that 2 weeks ago, not yet this weekend, but last weekend, we had shot a lot of extra content, given the fact that we thought we might be a little bit pressed for time on Friday. So that's the reason why we shot the verses for Inglourious Bastards. So, wow, long day. The verses for what this week was, which is 310 to Yuma against True Grit, and the Summer of Tarantino for Inglourious Bastards was shot last week. With, of course, God, it's been a long day. So that was taken care of, and we've got one more movie to talk about, Summer of Tarantino. That's going to be this coming Friday. And then the week after, the final week of August, we're going to talk AJ's favorites, and we're going to get him to rank them. So I know he is dreading this, but I'm very curious to see what he says. Even though I kind of got an idea. Alright. And we'll have another Versus this week. Now, I'm going to throw this out here in the Impact video, which is supposed to be where I throw out the cryptic comments. The cryptic comment this week for this week's Versus was Father's Honor, and I talk about it in the beginning of the video, but I kind of forgot to mention it in the video, so I promise I won't let that happen again. As a matter of fact, unless anything changes, the cryptic comment for this week should be announced sometime in the next couple of days. And basically this all hinges on one thing. Now, when Grown Ups came out, we did Happy Gilmore versus Billy Madison. And we're going to try, or hopefully try, to do something that pertains to a movie that's coming out this coming weekend. But I do not have complete knowledge if we are getting said movie yet. And I will not know that information till at the earliest tomorrow, at the latest probably Wednesday morning. Most likely Tuesday before I leave. I have a feeling everything will be taken care of before Tuesday. I'll know if we're getting a movie or not, and I don't know if we are as of right now. Only thing I know as of right now, we're watching The Mortal Instruments on Wednesday at 6:50. I know that. And then everything else right now, it's Ryan Bingham style. It's up in the air. So we'll get to that when we get to that. Okay, another thing too. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the Halloween Horror Nights video. There's going to be plenty more of those. Well, here's the thing. I have gotten my new toy. I'll show you this, actually. So, Mom comes in, and she got me a bunch of new pens and some, like, legal pads just so I could do my recaps here, which is awesome, and I love it. And then, it was kind of decided that I needed a laptop. Well, my mom pretty much solved that problem and said I can borrow hers. Win-win. So, I've got that, so I've got a laptop. So, we're good for September for a laptop, and December as well. And then I was thinking, I was like, I need something that takes pictures. I need something that has great Wi-Fi. And I need something that may or may not be able to shoot video out to you guys as well. Well, thought about it, and I went through it for a long time, and I am finally the proud owner of this Google Asus Nexus 7 2013 edition, which is awesome, by the way. Let me show you this real quick. We normally do unboxings here on the internet, but this is what it looks like. Look at this awesome tablet. How cool that is. Yeah. Alright, more housekeeping real quick. Got some really awesome news the other day. I was able to make FastPass Plus reservations, which means that I was one step away from officially being able to put this over here, test Magic Bands. So, sure enough, this is kind of funny because I'm talking about this, like, going back in time, doing the time travel thing. Going back to Thursday night when I shot you guys out the Halloween Horror Nights reveal video of American Werewolf in London, I found out then that I would be the recipient of a Magic Band. So yes, Suro and Disney has Magic Bands. As a matter of fact, and I say bands as in there are dos Magic Bands coming to this house, and one of which will arrive next week, the other of which will arrive the week after. And of course, I've also got other things I'm waiting for right now. My Wyatt Family t-shirt should be arriving in the next few weeks as well. Hopefully I'll get it before I go home because I desperately need it before I leave. And I got a new Shield shirt. Sorry, Will. So, we got that all taken care of. Talked to Ben, and things are a little hectic with back to school, so Ben will be shooting out videos to you guys sooner rather than later. Molly is having problems with uploading her videos, but once that's taken care of, she'll be joining us as well. And we're going to work on Will's schedule since school, of course, starts this coming week. So, we'll see where we go from there. But you'll get a lot more of me here on Pop, which I'm sure you guys absolutely love. Now, all that said, I'm not going to say this won't happen again, but I'm going to say I'm going to very much try the best I possibly can to make this not a regular occurrence. It has been lately, but things have been hectic lately. The month of August is really hectic for movies, and that's the reason why we had to do that. As a matter of fact, if you think about it, we have separate videos. We'll go back to Friday. Friday we shot review videos for the movies we watched those Thursday and Friday, which is Kick-Ass 2, Jobs, Paranoia, and Lee Daniels the Butler. There's 4 right there. On top of that was the indie movies and the limited release movies we watched, or finally got to watch. Fruitvale Station, The Way, Way Back, Crystal Fairy, and, I'm drawing a blank here. Crystal Fairy, Way, Way Back, those 3, plus Lovelace and Prince Avalanche. The reason I don't remember those 2 is because those are the ones I did not get to watch. AJ watched them by himself. So, I mean, that's 5. So, I mean, my math is absolutely terrible, but that's almost 10 reviews. So, those 2 videos, that's a lot of time, and that's the reason why we didn't do the verses this week. We did it last week, so we filmed it out to you guys this week. Same with Summer of Tarantino. But everything should go back to normal next week. So, I can't promise you that, but I'm going to do the best I can. I'll talk about the schedule at the end of this video, but let's get into Hardcore Justice. Hardcore Justice edition of TNA Impact, and live to tape, of course. Norfolk, Virginia was the site of the event, and let's discuss it right off the top. So, A lot of points up for grabs in the Bound for Glory series as we are heading towards a straightaway to end the Bound for Glory series for 2013. And we have a very interesting leaderboard after this show, but I'll talk about that as we get to it. So we start off the show right away with a 4-way ladder match between Austin Aries, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and Frankie Kazarian to determine who gets 20 points. As a matter of fact, there was a big clipboard hanging from the sky that had a big 20 points on it. So, of course, the person who grabbed the clipboard will get the 20 points, thus giving them 20 points in the Bound for Glory series. So, as we do here on Pop, let's talk about the match. Alright. Aries sets up the ladder. Kaz grabs him and pulls him off. Sends him into it face first. So Aries forearms Kaz, sending him to the floor. And drop kicks the ladder into Kaz underneath the bottom rope. AJ springboards with a flying forearm onto Aries. Sends him down. Aries climbs up. AJ climbs up. Aries cuts him off. Kaz jabs AJ in the ribs with the ladder and tosses the ladder at Aries. Sets up the ladder next to the ladder so they're like side by side in the ring. Aries climbs up the opposite side. He pulls him down. All 4 men climb up. AJ grabs Kaz and Kaz they all try to grab for the dangling contract, or I guess you could say the 20 points clipboard hanging from the sky, like I said. And a big-time sunset flip into a powerbomb sends Jeff Hardy off the ladder courtesy of a double. And Kaz goes for a suplex off the ladder. It gets blocked. Thumb to the eye, and that sends AJ off. He pretty much got disoriented and he fell off the ladder. So he knocks the ladder down, hits a discus lariat on Kazarian, and sets the ladder up in the corner. And the second, not just 2 seconds after he sets the ladder up in the corner, he gets nailed with the IED, the rapid fire drop kick into the corner by Austin Aries. So Aries climbs up, Hardy climbs up, and they knock him off onto the top rope, basically hot shot him. So AJ catches Aries and goes for a powerbomb. He gets turned into a Styles Clash on the canvas, which we don't see very often. But this Styles Clash is extra devious because the Styles Clash is hooked up on Austin Aries. Kaz slides in his infinite wisdom, and he flatliners AJ, so all 3 men are down at this point. So Kaz gets up, Hardy gets up, and Aries goes to the top turnbuckle. Missile drop kick knocks both men off the ladder. So Aries climbs up, and Christopher Daniels and Bobby Roode come out on the ramp for a distraction. So AJ jumps onto the ladder out of absolutely nowhere, and headbutt to Aries. Hardy knocks him off. And Aries ends up going into the ladder into the corner. So Hardy whip in, and Kaz gets whipped hard into the ladder, nails a twist of fate, sets up the ladder, he climbs. Bobby Roode slides in the ring and pulls him off, and Jeff Hardy catches him with a spinning back kick. Kaz climbs up, and Daniels, unbeknownst to everyone, is slid on the opposite side of the ring. He stands in the ring, gives Kaz the Appletini, and he tosses it into the eyes of Jeff Hardy, blinding him. Hardy falls off the ladder. Kaz climbs up, grabs the board, and we win this match for 1/3 of Ego. So, big win for Frankie Kazarian, get another big 12 points in the Bound for Glory series. So, we get the Main Event Mafia, and they are in the ring with Dixie Carter. And, of course, we're going to address the elephant in the room, which, of course, is the very sudden DUI of Kurt Angle pretty much right after Slammiversary was over 2 weeks ago. And because of that, because TNA, of course, tapes 2 shows in the same night, given the fact that's how it works with cost. So, 2 weeks ago, of course, Kurt Angle went into rehab. He's still in rehab, obviously. That's why we had to postpone the 5-on-5 Main Event Mafia versus Aces and Eights match that was supposed to be at Hardcore Justice Thursday night, but did not end up happening. So, no one has any idea when he'll come back from rehab, but we hope here on Pop, and we hope everyone, all the wrestling fans out there, hope that Kurt gets better sooner rather than later. Don't come back until you are better. I mean, we don't want to lose Kurt Angle. We really don't, to be totally honest. He has everyone's support in the entire company, all the boys and girls in the back, and all the fans all around the world. Come back real soon, but only if you're clean. So the Aces and Eights music hits, and Devon, Mr. Anderson, Wes Briscoe, Garrett Bischoff, and Nux all come out. Anderson says you only have 1 week to come up with a suitable replacement. So, it's all about bragging rights. It's about being the man, or men in this case, to end someone's career. End Rampage's career before it even starts. In the storied career of Sting, snuff out Samoa Joe before he realizes his true potential, and get rid of Magnus before he can even be the future. Magnus says basically you shouldn't be worried about the future, you should be worried about your immediate future, and that is me punching you right in the face right here and now. Obviously. He says, we need to find a replacement, this is true, but be sure of one thing only. One of you next week is going home with the pink slip, baby! Which is very interesting wording. Tonight we'll start a new chapter in Aces and Eights, is something Mr. Anderson says. And then he sucker punches and all men brawl. And they beat down the main event Mafia, leave them laying. I like this. This was hilarious. Nux nails Magnus as the Aces and Eights music hit. And we go all Dave Chappelle here because, literally speaking, Magnus got his ass beat to a soundtrack. And you don't want that to happen. So the Aces and Eights stand tall, and that's the end of this segment. So we get our hardcore match between ODB, Gail Kim, and Mickie James. Of course, Velvet Sky was supposed to be a part of this match as well, and that ended up falling through because Velvet had an extremely critical emergency she had to tend to. Luckily, everything's okay now, so hopefully everything works well for Velvet in the future, and we see Velvet return to TNA sooner rather than later. We don't need any more people off the roster at this point because you've got Taryn Terrell is off right now. She's not coming back for quite a while, so there's always that. So we get our three-way hardcore match between the three knockouts, and this, of course, is a non-title match. So you have to think if anyone does pin Mickie James in this match, they would be set up for a knockouts title match in the near future. Well, we got midway through the match, and the ring post figure 4 by Gail Kim on ODB, and Mickie adds insult to injury by putting her feet against the hair of ODB and stretching her out. They're pretty much just like using her like they're rowing with her body. So we get back to it. They go back and forth a little bit longer. ODB chugs the flask, the liquid courage, and miss whatever that unforeseen alcohol is right into the eyes of Mickie James. Boot in the midsection, Firewoman's carry, and cane shot, which Singapore Cane is introduced from Gail Kim. She ducks it, and Gail ends up getting defeated by the thing she brought into the ring in the first place, and that's a steel chair. Chair set up, and there's the BAM, the TKO, or the Wine Crusher, or the Fireman's carry into a cutter, depending on who you want to call the match. Right on the steel chair on Gail Kim, 1, 2, 3, and ODB wins. Decent hardcore match between the three, but definitely a step below the awesome hardcore matches we've had between Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim, the ladder match, and the last knockout standing match. So, there's always that. So, basically, the main event Mafia are at a disadvantage. They're down one man, given the fact Kurt Angle obviously is not going to be here next week. So, Sting comes up with a brilliant idea to talk to Austin Aries. We don't like him, but he hates the Aces and Eights more than he hates us. So, maybe he's the person we need to talk to. Besides, he fits the credo because he's a former World Heavyweight Champion. So, basically, Sting's going to look into getting Austin Aries to join the group. And pretty much right after the commercial break, that's exactly what happens. Sting is in Austin Aries' locker room trying to convince him to be recruited into the Aces and Eights. And Aries is like, I don't know, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of a loner, really. But the Main Event Mafia need Aces and Eights. And basically, Austin Aries tells them in the next segment, when we see them all in the locker room, no. So Austin Aries says no. So Rampage Jackson comes up with a brilliant idea. He's like, you know what? I'm going to make this right. And I know somebody who can do this. And you know, it doesn't matter about November. It doesn't matter about November 2nd. Oh no, I know the exact guy that I need to talk to right now. But I'm going to call him out in the ring right here and now. Yay, Rampage Jackson. That's the reason why you shouldn't talk, sir. So, He comes out with Samoa Joe in tow, and I did not mean to make that rhyme, calling out the Huntington Beach bad boy Tito Ortiz, of course. So Bully Ray comes out to Ortiz's music, which is hilarious, and he says, "Shut it off," like he always does. Nice music cue. I'm sure that guy got fired. So basically he says, "You know what, Rampage, I've already had your number before, and if I wasn't so busy winning the World Heavyweight Championship back from Chris Sabin tonight, I'd certainly take you guys out right now, right here and now. So, you guys, of course, are at a disadvantage right now. You don't need to worry about anything more than the fact that one of you guys is going home permanently next week." And he basically calls Tito Blondie, and he says, "I'm going to make you my Huntington Beach bitch." And then, of course, they put over the fact that they're going to fight at Bellator on November 2nd, which, of course, is mentioned like 300 times. Like, it might as well be, in my case, a frozen lemonade drinking game. Or eating game, in this case. Depends on how hot it is. So, basically Rampage is trying to recruit Tito Ortiz to join the Main Event Mafia. This is going to end well. It's kind of funny I mentioned that because a week or two ago, I mentioned here on this very channel that I thought that Tito Ortiz was going to turn heel and join the Aces and Eights. Keep that in mind for the rest of this video. We get another 4-man matchup, this match being a tables matchup to determine who also gets 20 points in the Bound for Glory series. Now, this changed the BFG series completely, like to flip it on top of its head, because 40 points were dealt out by people in this show that did not have very many points at all, and basically to put them back in the running for winning the Bound for Glory series. This matchup ending up between the only member of the Aces and Eights involved in the BFG series, Mr. Anderson, the It Factor Bobby Roode representing Ego, and of course Magnus and Samoa Joe representing the Main Event Mafia. So yeah, they were all representing a stable in this match. So, anyway, hold on. Hope you didn't see that. It was really awkward if you did. Like lemonade on my hands. It's kind of slowly melting here. My house is a little bit warm today. Alright. That's better. Okay. We're almost done, so we're good to go. So, basically, Magnus sets a table up in the corner, and he goes for an over-the-shoulder power slam. He charges in, he falls off, and Roode catches him with a double R spine buster. So we go back and forth, back and forth. Joe ends up getting whipped into the ropes, and he comes off with the elbow suicide on Bobby Roode on the floor. Anderson catches him, goes for a suplex, gets reversed, and it's reversed into that, like, snowplow, like, lift-up vertical suplex variant that he likes to hit all the time. Mic check on Magnus, and Joe comes in, muscle buster on Mr. Anderson, almost to the table, but Bobby Roode moves it out of the way in the nick of time. So they toss Joe to the floor, and Magnus gets up on the table. Bobby Roode goes up top. Joe crouches him up there. Kaz comes out with a distraction on Joe, so they brawl a bit. Daniels comes out again with the Appletini, tosses it in the eyes of Magnus this time, and Bobby Roode powerbombs Magnus straight through the table to win another 20 points in the Bound for Glory series. So, right away, you have the two of the three members of Ego who didn't have any points, like next to nothing. Well, okay, Bobby Roode had, going into this match, Bobby Roode had 7 points, so he was down to the bottom of the Bound for Glory series. And due to his credit, Kazarian had 2, so, I mean, they both were, like, not dead last, they're not Joseph Park, they're not in, like, negative numbers, but they're really low in the Bound for Glory series, and they both picked up a big 20 points. So it was a big night for Ego tonight. It really was. In more ways than one. So, midway through the show, we see Bully Ray. He's talking on the phone with someone, and dropping a lot of buzzwords like honey and mentioning, obviously thinking that we're talking about Brooke Hogan. He even ends it with, "I love you, Brooke." And we're going to let the world know the secret next week. They're going to be shocked. Well, I should have figured out this was what was going to happen. That's the reason why someone's been off television for a while. And if you put 2 and 2 together, you know what I'm talking about. But we'll discuss that next week on Impact, because obviously that's not this week, that's next week. So, we get our main event. It is for the World Heavyweight Championship. It is Chris Sabin defending the World Heavyweight title against Bully Ray inside a steel cage, with the added stipulation that Bully Ray does not beat Chris Sabin. He does not get another World Heavyweight title shot. thus telegraphing exactly what happens in the end of the match. So Bully press slams Sabin into the cage on 2 separate occasions. Big headbutt drops Sabin. He's basically toying with him this match. Drops that big elbow off the ropes, 1-2 and a kick out. So the Vader cross faces, and Sabin gets back in the corner. Bully basically says, "You punch me right in the face right now." And Sabin gives him a receipt with forearms, knocks him out of the corner. So he gets caught, crucifix powerbomb, countered into a backslide, 1-2 and a kick out. So huge clothesline, explodes out of the corner from Bully Ray, and 3 big right hands trying to cauliflower the left ear of Sabin. Bear hug, and Sabin elbows out of it slowly but surely. Runs off the ropes, gets caught, high elevation back body drop, and powerbomb is reversed into a sleeper on the back of Bully Ray, right in the center of the ring, and Bully uses his wherewithal to back Sabin into the corner and release the hold. So he charges in, Sabin puts the boots up, and nails a nice tornado DDT out of the corner. Sabin with the big forearm, Bully with a chop. They trade forearms and chops back and forth, back and forth. Caught him, that's not even a word. Catches him with a spinning back kick and an enziguri from Chris Sabin. Bully picked up. He looks like he was going for a cradle shock, but he didn't really have it work, so it ends up looking more like a Spicoli driver. And whip it, and then he basically just rips the cut off of Bully Ray. And he takes the cut, and he starts whipping him, using the cut like it's a leather whip. Given the fact it's like a leather vest, it makes sense it's going to hurt. So Sabin just whips the daylights out of him with the cut, and he's like thinking about what to do with it, and Bully mows him over with the big boot. 1-2 and a kick out. So he catches him with a really quick Samoan drop. He goes up top. Sabin climbs up. Oh my god, this looked bad. Sabin jumps on the shoulders, going for the Rana. And of course, that gets blocked. Bully catches him. It looks like he was going to powerbomb him out, but Sabin was going to Rana him at the last minute. That was the spot they were going for. What ended up happening was, basically, when they both come off, Sabin nails a very last-second Rana and lands Bully on his shoulder. Probably popping it out of place, to be totally honest. Great sell from Bully on that. And, yeah, it was a bad botch. And, the fans let him hear about it because they knew what was going on. Matthew on line 1. So, he goes for Hail Sabin, the cross special brainbuster. It gets countered. High vertical suplex from Bully Ray. And Bully Ray climbs through the ropes as he asks the door to be open. So, the door's open. He climbs through the ropes. Sabin stops him. Slides through the legs, and Bully catches him and goes for a slam, and he bumps the ref. And basically, the ref kind of groggily gets back up, and he gets sandwiched into the cage with the avalanche from Bully Ray. So a big enziguri kick. And on top of that, he gets drop kicked, and the missile drop kick from the World Heavyweight Champion. Goes for the pin. Of course, there's no referee, because the referee got bumped. So Anderson comes out while Sabin's about to exit, and he has the door open, and Mr. Anderson just slams it into the face of Sabin and locks the door, preventing him. He just looks at him and goes, "You shall not pass." Gotta love Mr. Anderson's humor there. It made me laugh. So basically, this is long enough for Rampage Jackson and Tito Ortiz to hit the ring. And Rampage tosses Mr. Anderson off the ramp to the floor, and Tito has the hammer and lays the hammer down in the back of the head of Rampage Jackson. He falls off the ramp, and that pretty much allows for Sabin to get thrown into the cage because he's mucho distracted at this point. I don't know why I use that terminology, but that's what ended up happening. Walks in, big time powerbomb from Bully, stacks him up 1, 2, 3. Bully Ray wins the TNA World Heavyweight Championship back from Chris Sabin, and he celebrates in the ring with Taz, who brings him the World Heavyweight title, and Tito Ortiz, who he hugs in the ring. And just like I predicted a week ago, and even 2 weeks ago, Tito Ortiz is now a member of the Main Event Mafia. Alright, there's a lot to talk about on this show. What did we learn today, boys and girls? Well, the opening match was really good. I like the idea of Bobby Roode winning, or later on in the night. And I like the idea that Kaz won, given the fact he was so low in the Bound for Glory series. Kaz pulling the win, Roode pulling the win. It makes me think that next week, when there is a 4-way street fight. Actually, I'll talk about that in a minute. 4-way street fight next week. 20 points on the line. It's Jay Bradley, who has 0. It's Joseph Park, who has -3. It's Christopher Daniels, who has 22. And it's Hernandez, who I believe still has 7. No, yeah, he's got 7. So that's going to be next week. And also, we get our 5-on-5 matchup, the Main Event Mafia against the Aces and Eights. And the losing person who takes the pin, who eats the pin, who submits, who loses the match for their team is going to be out of Impact Wrestling. And, you know, I kind of cheated and read the spoilers, and I'm not too surprised, given the fact that someone just took an office job. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know who exactly eats the pin if you didn't read the spoilers. Other than that, let's just say that it'll be interesting. We'll see where we go from here. So, of course, the Main Event Mafia needs to find a final guy. They go look for Austin Aries. Aries says no, so they still need to find one more guy. And another thing I mentioned, that the savior of TNA in this whole Aces and Eights angle would end up being AJ Styles. And that's what we're building towards, folks. It really is. But we'll talk about that next week. So, Knockouts 3-way hardcore match wasn't bad. Pretty good for what it was. I did like the tables match. Bobby Roode going over was right. Bully Ray winning the World Heavyweight title back from Chris Sabin makes sense. As we know, we're ending the Aces and Eights sooner rather than later, and you have to pick everyone off one by one. So that's pretty much what we've got here. So let's talk about the Bound for Glory series as it stands at this very moment. So in dead last, Joseph Park, -3. Jay Bradley still got a big goose egg. And on top of that, we've got Hernandez is at 8. Austin with 7 points, by the way. Austin Aries has 21 points. That puts him at number 7. There's a tie for number 6. Kazarian with 22, as well as AJ Styles. And, of course, that's because of this show right here. So, in 5th place is Christopher Daniels with 23. Tie for 4th with 24 points, Jeff Hardy and Mr. Anderson. Samoa Joe drops to 3rd in this. And Bobby Roode jumps all the way up to 2nd. With 27 points, 1 more point more than Samoa Joe, and still leading the Bound for Glory standings is Magnus with 39 points. That is Impact Wrestling for this week, so we're going to talk more about wrestling in just a few minutes. So for you WWE fans, I will be talking NXT and SmackDown actually right after I'm done with this video. I'm going to watch those and shoot those out, get them to you before SummerSlam, and I'll even do a very late SummerSlam prediction video. I won't go very long because what's the point? Everybody else already gives their SummerSlam predictions, so I'll do them late. And, of course, we're going to do SummerSlam. That'll come out tomorrow. We'll have Raw. That'll come up on Tuesday. Impact next week, knock on wood, will come out on Thursday night / Friday morning. So, once again, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them. Do leave a comment. Do subscribe, thumbs up, share them on your social media. If you want to follow me, you can. It's at Sir Owen Disney on Twitter. And if you want to find me on Facebook, it's Owen Disney. It's very easy to find. If you want to send me any information you'd like, if you want to tell me what you want to see on Pop here, give me comments, criticisms, anything you want to, shoot me an email, SirOwenDisney@gmail.com. And that's going to be the end of this. So, until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.